always believe that adversity or nervousness, it like pretty much catapulted me into success.
I generally accept that misfortune. I generally accept that difficulty or anxiety, like essentially slung me into progress on the off chance that I didn't have these sentiments. I wouldn't go into this battle. I must have these sentiments to battle. Without them, I could never go in the ring. In a momentous move, Mike Tyson has quite recently uncovered stunning standards for his impending battle with Jake Paul. Besides, Tyson expounded on his trust in overcoming Paul, referring to reasons that rise above the huge hole between them, is according to my perspective of snatching brilliance, never for cash. Just magnificence. Mike Tyson uses enduring sureness in his capacity to win over Jake Paul. With a critical 30-year age gap between them, especially in the domain of boxing, this error holds significant weight. By Tyson stays unperturbed by the test ahead. The carefully prepared 57-year-old explained his trust in enduring triumph over Jake, revealing insight into his reasoning behind such assurance. I don't believe he's quicker than me, right? How hard are you preparing? I train consistently, Oak. What amount of time a day you do train require for it? Serious. Listen, it's the entire day. It's the cycle goes through the entire day. I get up in the first part of the day, accomplish the street work. Then I go to the exercise center at 1, then I go to the strength and molding folks. Then it starts from the very beginning again. Then again, Los Angeles Trimmers forward Paul George as of late examined the momentum rivalry among Tyson and Paul. I'm not conflicting with Mike Tyson. I'm not neither. Mike Tyson is one of those folks that you see his name. I'm casting a ballot via Mike Tyson. I'm going for Mike Tyson. You better you're going for Mike Tyson. George talked about the battle with his has prior to sharing his expectation. The gauge for this battle has separated the enclosing local area too. Because of the critical age hole between the contenders, many have chosen Paul, who was just 27 years of age, as the victor in spite of his absence of ring experience. Still others have declined to bet against Mike Tyson, who is a genuine oddity and potentially the best heavyweight ever. George fell in a subsequent class. Listen, Mike Tyson, not going to lose against this kid taking okay. You're saying he will win. Gotcha. God, I care the age hole. Like there is a disturbing age hole between the two fighters. Yet Paul George is certain that age ought not be an element. Jake Paul has gotten a ton of fire for battling superstars and previous blended military craftsmen, as opposed to real fighters. Prior to choosing Tyson for the session, George rehashed a similar thinkings. He take it serious, truly battling a fighter. Like he's not battling a MMA fellow. He's not battling a grappler. He's not battling a performer. He's battling a fighter. It doesn't matter at all to me how old the distinction, the age hole, is. He's battling a fighter. See what he thought about what the level contrast is in the arrive at the NBA player went on by talking about Tyson's rival and his obligation to the game. He scrutinized his hosts and asked, what is the plot for Jake Paul? Does he need to be known as a serious fighter? The board discussed Paul's knowledge and his possibilities in this game. Going ahead, they brought up that the fighter was doing it for monetary benefit, yet they encouraged him to begin taking on additional difficult rivals to go on in the game. In the meantime, Tyson went after Jake Paul's battling style in 2022 and said he would battle him, assuming that he were in better structure. Tyson said, Jake's punches you can see coming a pretty far. You can see that approaching a pretty far. I can see that approaching a pretty far. I would beat these. I'd go directly at them. There would be no boxing. The main thing I need to do is be in shape. 30 days of boxing, preparing consistently, and I can battle anybody. Apparently, Mike Tyson has chosen to say goodbye to his pot extravagance because of the battle, famous for his advancement of marijuana and his one-of-a-kind line of items, which even incorporates ear-formed edibles. Tyson is pursuing an essential decision to abstain from pot in anticipation of his impending session. I don't know, perhaps it has something to do with my triple propensities or something. Yet I don't think I'll be smoking for this battle, and I believe I will be extremely crabby and dreadful with his sights. set on showing Paul a paramount example and foiling his desires of guaranteeing a boxing big showdown title. Iron Mike is preparing for an extraordinary standoff, even in his later years. Mike Tyson proceeds to feature surprising quickness and strength. All through his vocation, he's been vocal about the quieting impact of pot, changing him into a more genial figure anyway. He has now uncovered his aim to take a break from the substance his thinking to reignite his savagery inside the boxing ring. Typically I do, yet at this specific battle, I believe I will go pretty crude. And stripped. Moreover, Mike Tyson holds firm to the conviction that his speed outperforms that of Jake Paul's. Obvious in his reliable transfers of instructional meetings across online entertainment stages. Tyson's recordings attract a large number of energetic watchers. Strikingly, even at 57 years old, Tyson shows a great mix of speed and influence, especially clear in his work on the cushions. I believe you realize he's progressed significantly from YouTubing. And listen, I've seen a YouTube of him at 16 doing bizarre moves. That is not the person I will be battling. This person will come, he will attempt to hurt me, which I'm acquainted with, and you will be extraordinarily mixed up during a similar meeting. Mike Tyson unveiled that his approaching match against Jake Paul is scheduled as a presentation, yet with guidelines much the same as a certified battle. Given Tyson's age guess in regards to the particulars of the match rules, flooded as a hotly debated issue after the declaration Paul might be 30 years more youthful than Iron Mike. Yet the carefully prepared fighter stays unfaltering in his conviction that he can win over the YouTube sensation. When they go head-to-head in the ring this mid-year, how about we discuss? There's been a ton of reports out there about the battle that perhaps you got to have 18-ounce gloves. You will be wearing headgear. Any reality false whatsoever. False. No evident prior accounts demonstrated that Tyson would have to go through a battery of clinical assessments for the session to be endorsed as an expert match by the famous pugilist. Has given lucidity on the guidelines administering the looming standoff. Tyson said that this battle will be a display. He added that on the off chance that you look into a presentation, you won't see any of the regulations he and Paul are battling under. Listen, this is known as the display, yet in the event that you look into display, you won't see any of the regulations that we're battling under. This is a battle. Tyson ceased from giving mind-boggling insights concerning the guidelines, yet surrendered that Paul has developed past the YouTuber he once knew from moving recordings. He stressed that the issue kid would enter the ring with the aim to cause harm, a strategy he professed to be know all about. Yet Tyson said Paul is enormously mixed up in the event that he accepts that he will come out successful. He affirmed that he needed to show Paul a thing or two, yet had no feelings of resentment against his adversary, and portrayed him as lovely. You realize, I have a strange character. I don't believe it's peculiar. However, whatever I'm reluctant to do, I make it happen. And that is the way it is. I was reluctant to, for the Roy I was terrified to battle again. I was 100 pounds overweight. I was anyway old, 54, 53. And I said we should do it. Anything I'm anxious about, I defy it. And that is my character. Like right currently, I'm unfrightened to death. Yet as the battle draws nearer, the less apprehensive I become on the grounds that its existence. And as a general rule, I'm strong. Mike Tyson stands firm in his decision to step into the ring against Paul, regardless of confronting reaction from various corners. Tyson intensely excuses any idea that his age reduces his effect in the boxing domain. He focuses to the significant viewership his discussions on battle create, underscoring that his pertinence rises above age limits. In another meeting, Tyson said, I'm 58, and what I'm getting billions of perspectives from simply referring to battling everyone, even the vast majority of the competitors. They're desirous you were unable to sell a 58 out of field, can sell out a 80,000 seat field. In